Let's talk about franchising, man. Let's talk about it because this is, I think, for most people, it's funny, but I almost discover new things about acts to get most excited about, right? And franchising huge. Okay, let's look at the difficulty of you trying to do it on your own. First off,
Mm.
try to do it on your own. It's going to take you 5 to 10 years. I know because I was at the homesteading conference in Hardison Mill in Tennessee, and over at the Modern Homestead conference over in Idaho. And I literally talked to thousands of people who have their own homestead. And I asked them, how long has it taken you to just buy raw land, set up your home, and have animals and sell them? Not a single person out of the thousands I spoke to in person said less than 4 years. Not a single one. Not a single one. Okay? Not one soul. All right? The average is 8 or 9 years. That's average.
Wow. And that's if you don't go bankrupt first, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I talked to a woman, speaking of bankrupt. She was 7 years in. She quit 3 times. She had to sell all of her animals 3 different times,
Wow.
okay, to get things up and running, because that's how difficult it is.
Mm-hmm.
Versus you go with Axe, we can get it all done 12 to 18 months. Bang.
Wow.
That's it.
How do you do that?
Coordinating all the people, coordinating all the partners, right? So let's go through what it looks like. Again, most people, I don't expect them to have the money to just buy land, do everything all at once. Although you can get a construction loan and use the construction loan to fund the purchase of your land and fund the purchase of your actual home build. It's only 5% down, only 5% down, and you can build out the rest of that, okay? But again, most people don't do that. Most people buy the land and they transition into it. So how do you do that, all right? If you go to Proverbs 24 and you go to line 27, it will say, and we can even go to Bible Hub to go check it out. It will literally say in it, complete your outdoor work and prepare the fields. After that, excuse me, build your home. Okay, and this is in the section that's literally called Further Sayings of the Wise Men. So we're in the book of Proverbs, all right, and we're looking at the sayings of the wise. Boom, further sayings of the wise. Complete your outdoor work and prepare your field. After that, you may build your house. So the wise men have told us the exact answer of what we want to do. All right, you buy the land. Let's set up the infrastructure for your own farm. Let's prepare the field. Let's set up maybe an Airbnb. Let's turn that thing into something profitable, and then from there, let's start funding out our home build. If we have the whole thing, okay, I'll tell you the mortgage right now. You're looking between $5,000 to $6,000. Okay, that's our goal. How can we make $5,000 to $6,000? Well, I was talking to a woman at one of these at the Modern Homesteading Conference in Idaho. She told me that she set up her own home. She said, number one, I wish I had Axe. I would have done it I started 4 years ago, but if I knew what you guys were doing now, I would have done it. Okay, she says that it took her 4 years to actually just break even. Okay, and she finally was able to do it and start getting to profit. And she failed and failed and failed until she started selling dairy. Okay, she started selling raw dairy. She says that she started earning $1,500 per cow through raw dairy. Okay, $1,500 per cow. So here's where things got crazy. We are acquiring the services of a gentleman named @FarmerMills on Instagram, who specializes in helping people get USDA beginner farmers loans. These are loans and grants that allow people, it's in the name, to become beginner farmers, okay? And all you need to do is show some business experience and a business plan. He will help you write your business plan and file it to the USDA to get that money. Okay, now that you have access to funding from the USDA Beginner Farmer Loan Program, you can set up the infrastructure for your own farm, all right? So simple base numbers to keep it easy. $100,000 loan is good enough to be able to get a food forest, have a cattle operation, okay, and have a rotational grazing like chicken system that fall behind the cattle. Here's how they all relate, and I promise you it's all gonna work out. So
Yeah.
when you use regenerative systems like rotational grazing, you do not need your typical feed. Instead, the grass that you have, especially that we select with the best lands in the world, is more than sufficient to feed the cows. And what you're going to do is you're going to rotate the cows from one paddock to the next paddock to the next paddock to the next paddock one time each and every day. Okay, you don't need to be a cowboy. You don't need to have a horse. You don't need to have a dog. You don't need to have an ATV. You just need to ring a bell and then move the wiring system so that they know at the same time every day they're going to go from paddock 1 to 2, same time every day from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, all the way through 8 different paddocks. Okay? It takes 30 minutes tops to do this. 30 minutes tops. And the other thing you're going to be doing in that 30 minutes is you're going to be following the cows behind with chickens, okay? About 1 or 2 paddocks behind. Because the cows are going to eat and poop, and it's going to take 2 days for the poop to gather flies and maggots and worms. And the chickens will come in, they'll scratch through the cow poop, and they'll eat the flies, the maggots, and the worms, okay? Then
Wow.
the chickens will leave fertilizer as well. And over the course of the next 6 days, as the cows go around, right? Because it's been, a couple of days, so 8 days was the whole thing. That is the perfect amount of time for the grass to recover itself, so it's the perfect height to be eaten once again. Okay.
Wow.
So, as I said, this system takes about 30 minutes a day to just rotate them. So what we have is we have the Axe Ranch Hands. These are students from, for example, in Texas, it's Texas A&M students.
Okay.
We also have veterans, and we have permaculture, people who have studied in permaculture. They will gladly go to your backyard, move the cows and move the chickens for you, okay? So you don't even have to do any of this stuff. It just takes them 30 minutes to do it. If you have dairy cows, it might take them an extra hour. They'll set up and they'll milk the cows for you as well, okay? And now usually for someone who tries to have a ranch hand, they have to pay their full-time salary. Versus Axe, because it's you and your neighbors, you're splitting the costs of the ranch hand salary with between 5 to 8 other people. Okay?
Dude, this gets better and better.
I told you it gets sick. The cost with 5 to 8 other people, so it's not even that expensive to have these ranch hands. They take care of it for you. You can tell them exactly what schedule you want. This is another harsh reality for people if they try to do it on their own. If you try to do it on your own, you don't have ranch hands, congratulations, you can't take a vacation.
Right.
Because who's going to move the cow? It's hard enough for me to go on vacation with my dogs, right? What about cows that rely on me?
Yeah, that's what my wife and I have talked about. We have a horse, and this horse is, I mean, a dog, right? He's just an oversized dog. He's great, but we have been aiming towards buying 4 or 5, maybe 10 acres in the next couple of years. And then we're going back and forth, because it's like, okay, well, we can, have the horse on our land, which saves us money and board, and we can have chickens, which we go through a dozen eggs a day as a family, and that'll only increase as my kids get older. And but then it's like, well, if we have all this, we don't have family that can necessarily take care of them. Like, we want to travel too. We have kids real young. As we age, we want to be able to leave and, go to a beach, go to the mountains. We'll see if maybe one day we end up living in the mountains, Idaho or Montana.
I gotta show you if I show you the Idaho property, you're gonna move. I'm telling you,
I will go and not want to come back. Yeah. But I think that's what's so cool about how you're setting it up. People are like us. They want all this, but they also want to, and it's hard. I guess you can't have your cake and eat it too. But in this case, it sounds like you can't.
You can. Oh, just wait. We're about to take it to that next.
I love it.
Are you kidding me? Level. Okay, so as I said, you can have these ranch hands literally just help you out. And it's at your discretion what you want to schedule it out. Okay. If you need to pay it a la carte, like for whatever reason, you're going to be out for vacation, you can get the job done, $25 to $45 a day. They'll come in, they'll take care of everything for you. You have your eggs picked up, you have your cattle moved, you have your chickens moved, everything just done. Simple.
That's less expensive than a dog sitter.